Hello, guys. So we're running just a little bit behind. So Crysstal and I are just gonna wait for her to get here. In the meantime, I hope you guys have had a wonderful week. Variety of different things have happened this week, and hopefully some of it you're caught up on. I know one in particular for me is the Legend of Vox Machina came out, and when Crysstal gets in, hopefully we can have a little bit of a chat about that. Yes, Kira. Hi, kitten. Would you like to come here? Yes, 1 second, guys. Hi. Oh, come here. I guess we're immediately starting off with Cat. Also, hello, Donnie. We have the wonderful Kira, the kitty cat, the glorious little girl, the floof. Okay. Hello. Ezri, are you going to be the lap cat? Are you going to be a lap cat? Or are you just going to let your sister have all the glory? Nope. Nope. We don't have a shoulder cat. We do not have shoulder cat. We have window cat. Hello, Michael. We are waiting on Crysstal to get in. She's running a little bit behind today. And honestly, I was maybe about to pass out, and I'm glad I didn't. But yeah, hello. How is everyone? How are you doing, Michael? How are you, Donnie? Oh, I have caffeine. Oh, there's Ezra getting down. What are you doing? Moment while I deal with Cat. You are rocking the tactic world. For Starfleet Tactical, or? Oh, wait, let me see what Crysstal said. Okay, she's almost ready. She'll be in a minute, guys. Ezri! Now you're gonna run off? Alright, fine. Run off without me. See how I care. Oh, TikTok. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing the TikTok thing. Let's let me see if there's one that I can show on here that's not going to get us DMC aid. Oh, I can probably show this one real quick. Share screen. There's some audio from tab. Okay, so let's turn that off real quick. Make sure.
To elaborate as to why your weapons are nothing.
Come on, play nice. Seriously, TikTok? The fuck? We're trying to show this off, thank you. I'm blessed, thank you. I love you. I hope you are as well. I'm continuing my mock-up recreation of John Williams' Happy Birthday variation since his 90th birthday is 10 days away. Oh, wow. Is he really that? Come on.
To elaborate as to why your weapons are nothing but decorations.
Oh. Yeah, see,
to elaborate as
here
to
we
why
go.
Your weapons are nothing but decorations.
Yeah, see, as a College of Whispers bard, you're wrong about our weapons being decoration. First off, I've got this wonderful +1 longsword that I can do double-handed. I have this thing called Psychic Blade.
I feel like the double-handed thing could be a that's what she said joke.
Psychic damage to my target when I use one of my Bardic inspiration points?
Last session in Windermere Falls, I did 40 damage because I critted. Don't fuck with your College of Whispers bard.
Exactly. What about this one? Oh, this is from last night.
Didn't know what to put. So I started a community challenge for the first time on Twitch.
That's par for the course, yeah, it is.
I didn't know what to put it at, like points wise. So I set it at 50,000. Keep in mind, this is the first night.
Yeah, I started that challenge last night. 50,000 channel points. The lightsaber one. Which one? The oh gosh, that's you're talking about the one that blew up, aren't you? I'll have to turn that one down some because that one's actually that could get us DMCA'd. Where to go? That's the Stitch, so I'm getting close to where it is in here. Nope. Jesus Christ. Post too often.
Jelly and others finally.
We'll turn that way down.
I've been very self-conscious about my body, so I guess here goes nothing.
This one.
Okay.
Let's see, what is it at views-wise? It is at 15.5k views, guys. And that's what Michael was talking about. That's my most viewed video ever. We're just chilling while we wait for a wild crystal to appear. Oh, here's my Rupture playtest group.
This is the giant kid that is taller than Medea.
You're gonna be a goddamn star. You know that?
Child kid was the one that was sacrificed.
There were two kids.
Oh, so you might not have a sibling anymore. Just saying.
Yeah.
He went for a long walk.
Long
The
walk,
kid's face
guys.
just drops.
Long walk.
Just for a kid, Sandra, I need you to teach me how to be a parent. I mean, I love you. I will do anything I can for you. Just, I don't.
You don't see that.
Steadfast's already leaving, but then hearing you say, I need you to teach me how to be a parent and I love you, it's like, you met 6 hours ago!
It was 30 minutes ago, thank you very much.
There she is.
Oh, wanker.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, audio's a little weird, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay, give me a second.
Hello.
Is that any better?
A little better. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the important part. As long as everyone else is comfortable. Hello, everybody. I'm so sorry I'm late.
It's okay, it happens. And we can have background music now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I kind
The
of
boys didn't like it, but you know what?
You
Fuck
know
that
what?
shit. We have a different style here.
You know what? We are the stars of our own movie, so we are allowed
Exactly.
to have theme music. It's okay. How is everybody doing today? Thank you
Doing
for
all
myself for joining. Thank you so much. Thank you for forgiving me for coming in late. How are you doing, Lyssa?
I'm exhausted. I am sleep deprived and running on caffeine.
Yay! It's a special kind of feeling. Yes. Well, in a world where Aquaman now lives in a van down by the river, I'm not surprised all of us are stretched a bit thin.
I mean, that's fair.
As World War III looms,
Bum bum bum.
bum bum bum, Squid Game starts to sound like a vacation.
You're not wrong.
I'm not.
Hello, OJ Replays.
Hello.
OJ? OG.
Hello. See who's here. Donnie. Hi. Michael. Hi. How you doing? Thank you guys so much. Hey, Ernie.
Michael, I'm partnered with an energy drink company, and that is what I am drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Not only am I drinking it, I also combined it with cold brew.
That is good. It's good to know when something is versatile. If you're gonna do it, because so far Red Bull just goes with vodka, and
well, so
yeah,
Juju has a bunch of different flavors, and so like 3 of them work really well with cold brew.
Okay.
So there's the brand new one, the caramel apple squeeze that they just came out with, the pumpkin spice, and the horchata. Those go really good. Like they're better with milk, and like if you want to combine it with coffee, they work great.
Yeah. No, I have a special place in my heart for horchata. So.
Well, then you might want to pick some up.
Shot. I did not see that one was available yet, but that's on
Oh
me.
no, that one's been available.
That has it? Okay.
That's one of the regular flavors.
Yeah, I should have known.
That's actually the one I brought to your house when I was pet sitting last time or the time before.
But you drank it. You didn't leave it. You just brought it.
It's true. But I think I showed it to you.
Possible. That is entirely possible. So, now I'm going to remember.
Hello, Gurvindarari. How are you?
I am curious if any of our amazing listeners out there have ideas for energy drink flavors that they haven't seen or heard of yet. And for me, I'm looking for an energy drink that would go really well with tahini.
What's that one?
That's the spice that sometimes they'll do as a rim. It comes in the little...
Oh, yeah. It's like chili powder and lime.
Yeah.
Actually, so Juju has a watermelon one.
That would do it.
That one would probably go well with it.
That would do it. And I'm one of those people. I've also done like kind of a watermelon lime drink at one point. That was fairly good. That would work. 100%. So we did have some stuff happening lately in the world. We do.
They also have pina colada. They re-released that.
I've tried pina colada with a spice rim, but everybody's pina colada is a little different.
It's true. That is true.
Yeah, I would be open. I mean, I'm basically open anywhere, so not a stretch for me. Raspberry lemonade, Mountain Dew Spark. God, that just sounds like. Yeah. Yeah.
Fine, just celebrating my son's birthday. Oh, happy birthday to your son. How old is your son? How old is the little one?
How old is the little one?
Or if they're not so old, if they're not so young.
They're not so young, or they're not, yeah.
They're no longer technically. I don't know. Like anyone who's younger than me, I refer to as a little one. Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. No, I've definitely been doing that for at least 10 years. So I can relate. No, you're
I've
good.
been doing that since high school.
You're good. Yeah. Well, yeah. Especially. Yeah.
He's 19. Okay, so he's still little ones to us.
He's still, yeah. There are appropriate times to refer to a 19-year-old as, oh, he's just a baby, and that's okay. I don't think 19-year-olds are babies, but sometimes
it depends on the situation.
It does. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Happy birthday to your son.
So it looks like we do have official confirmation, just to begin out there, that this is the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy cast as we have seen them. This Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be the end of the run for this cast. They seem to have confirmed it across the board. They also have several that will not be appearing in the Christmas special.
Such as?
It's a little sad. I think like Vin Diesel isn't showing up. I think Bradley Cooper isn't. I know at least 2 of the names were mentioned, and I think those are the 2. Now,
I didn't even realize Vin Diesel was in it.
He's Groot.
Oh, you're right, isn't he?
He's Groot.
That's why I didn't realize, because he's just Groot.
He's Groot. He's Groot, and he's very determined to be in those stilts as often as possible. But he was Baby Groot too.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very determined. It's right up there with, hey.
Yeah.
Making sure Alan Tudyk making sure. No, I'm hey. What's up? Like, okay. So yeah, we have that confirmation as we get ready for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Going to be the end run for that cast. While there is just taking over, I wonder how you guys feel about this. So just the determination to see Tom Cruise as Tony Stark at some point. Yeah,
I don't want to see him as Tony Stark. He's too old.
Well,
Two,
I mean, him and RDJ really aren't that far apart in age.
Yeah, but
right now, it's not like a reboot thing.
Here's the thing: Tom Cruise, even if he and RDJ aren't that far apart in age, the way they act, like Tom Cruise is not refined enough to be Tony Stark.
I mean,
He's
so
a pompous prick.
I'm not
and
sure
not in a fun kind of way that Tony Stark is supposed to be.
It started as that fun exploration of what would have happened if the Avengers was made like in the 90s / early 2000s. And you think about who was a headliner actor and how they cast actors then.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had that. And now it's become like, are we going to see Tom Cruise, Tony Stark in Multiverse of Madness? And I'm like, No. Yeah, I mean, people don't even care if they ever see him in Top Gun again.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that eventually the whole Scientology thing is going to blow up in everybody's face, and he's going to be persona non grata.
Oh yeah, no ifs, ands, or buts. I think they're well on the way. They've already been on the way for a while. The only reason why they haven't already is because they've been able to pull in some pretty Top Gun lawyers.
Yes, they have absolutely. I mean, they bullied the IRS.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give props to that, but I kind of have to. Like,
But at the same time, like, the government will only put up with so much.
Yeah.
Before they actually go after that.
Yes.
Because there becomes a point where, is this a tax haven or is it actually a church?
And that's the interesting part. It's so many times it's not the crimes you would think of. It's not the crimes that first get reported. Like, we're thinking of the fraud, we're thinking of the kidnapping, the obvious sexual abuse because of the doctrine that's.
I think what's going to get them is going to be the tax shit.
Absolutely, and that's to that point where it isn't the crimes that people first start coming out with. It's the ones that they can make stick.
Yep.
And that's, it's the like when they went after who was the gangster, the Tommy gun gangster that they finally got?
Fuck.
Capote.
Capone.
No, Capone. Al Capone. Not Truman Capote. He was different. He got for something else. But yeah, Al Capone. It couldn't make the murder charges stick.
Yeah.
But
the tax fraud and everything else.
Yeah.
That fucking stuck.
Yep, that one did. And that's how they took down the organization. Sort of power vacuum. A huge part of it is too with everything Scientology has. Would you have a vacuum or will it die with Miscavige whenever he goes? How, like, it really depends on who you talk to. Like, how stable is everything around him? Who takes over next? Because
Yeah, and see, that's the thing.
Because he was aligned, he was Putin. He was aligned to take over as soon as L. Ron Hubbard was gone.
Yeah.
He had that planned out. So the question is, is there another Miscavige behind him? Mm-hmm. Even worse, because Miscavige is worse than Hubbard was, which is hard to imagine.
Yeah. But here we are.
Here we are with his own wife locked up in a cellar somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, that.
Yep.
Oh,
That's Esri, do you want in my lap? You were just staring at me.
I do not know where the rabbit is, and that makes me very nervous.
Come on.
Let's see what else we got. So we also have some more footage and announcements for Secret Invasion, which Marvel is absolutely pitching as like the biggest, comic book crossover movie event, coming up, movie series event coming up. And don't get me wrong, I'm excited. I love the cast. I love the build up to this. I do. But I don't know if it's going to be the next Endgame, as they seem to be pitching it as.
Yeah.
It's big. It's a big part of the phase and what's happening. And it's going to be, by my reckoning, like a big part of the assemblage of the new Avengers. Of course.
Yeah.
Now we got Nick Fury coming back to Earth at some point, hopefully. Yeah.
We'll see.
So we'll see. We will see. Also in Marvel news, of course, Evangeline Lilly getting criticized by several other MCU actors for her participation in the DC event, conference, convention that basically had to do with the right to say if you decide not to get a vaccine, if you decide not to adhere to a medical mandate, you shouldn't be deprived of any opportunities. Since if she doesn't get the vaccine, there are consequences to that.
So here's the thing. In regards to like government things, depending on what it is, yes. However, when it comes to a private corporation giving you consequences for your actions, that is different. You signed a fucking contract. You represent that company.
It's a movement that seems to be telling themselves, or at least trying to go with the headline, that they are fighting for equality, when what they're actually doing is they're asking for special treatment.
Yeah.
You're asking for special treatment. You're asking to be exempt.
We have required vaccines for like students to go to public school, for example, for years.
Those are government institutions, but the government has a right to protect their resources. And this is where things get dicey. It's really fun for people to create the clickbait headline that it's we're being oppressed. We're being controlled by the government. This is, it's indoctrination. It's fascist. Okay. There are programs that the government is responsible for maintaining, and there are if you think of a hospital as not a government institution, however, there are a lot of first responders. There's a lot, the medical care, the infrastructure of certain cities, just like the infrastructure of anything else when it has to deal with medical care, it is a government responsibility. And if this is why it was expected for there to be a lockdown, this is why it's expected for there to be, you have to comply. You have to, follow mandates, and you have to follow vaccination rules, because you want the government to provide policemen and fire department and military and medical care and programs. Well, that means that they have to be responsible for those resources that are helping maintain that level of the infrastructure. And that's really, really simple. It's simple. Just like corporations have to think about, their employees and the demand and everything else. And hospitals, if they're private hospitals, they have their own, rules and guidelines that they follow. And if they are part of a state hospital, then that's completely different. And they have to adhere to, whatever maintains their balance. And it's a big deal when you have people dying because they can't see a doctor. Because people don't get vaccinated.
Well, so when my grandfather was hospitalized in November, he was not able to actually be admitted to the actual hospital itself because there were so many people at our local hospital that were hospitalized with COVID. He was in the ER the entire time. They did not have an actual bed for him.
Right.
And that's a problem.
That's a problem.
Especially when you have people who are being like responsible and making sure that they are doing what they can to help others.
Right.
Because like I know someone, she's medically fragile and she cannot have the mRNA vaccines because she is deathly allergic to them.
Right.
She has to wait for the other ones that have been approved elsewhere but haven't been approved in the US yet to try and get vaccinated. And like all of her family members on both sides of the family have caught COVID. They currently have COVID. And she is like, she's had a breakdown. And rightly so, because she wants to be there with her family, but because she cannot get vaccinated because she has this allergy, she is very upset.
Yeah.
And this has even gone into like organ donation. People are being denied organs for not getting the vaccine.
Yes.
And people are trying to cry wolf over this when this is no different than any other time with organ donation. Like if you are a heavy smoker, heavy drinker, or just drink at all, depending.
Yes.
Like you will be denied an organ.
Yes. You're not getting a new liver if you're going to give, if you're going to destroy that one too.
Yeah, exactly. So they are going to give it to the person who is going to actually take care of that organ. And that includes getting the vaccines.
Yes.
That might be necessary in order to protect that.
If you are capable of getting the vaccines, that's and
some people aren't because of the happenstance for getting the reason why they might be needing an organ.
There's always people who will not be able to get the vaccines, and that's why you are trying to build up as much herd immunity as possible. Because this is why we have people who can't get measles vaccines, but they're not getting measles because we don't have measles, except where we do, where people are refusing to get the vaccine.
Well, like my mom, for example, she cannot for the life of her keep the it's the mumps antibodies.
NHS.
So German measles. She's like every time they've done a teeter test the past like 2 or 3 times, like she has to get the vaccine again. For some reason, her body cannot keep a hold of that. Like in the beginning, yeah, it'll be fine, but like she periodically has to get that vaccine that some people, well, most people, you get that vaccine and you have that immunity the rest of your life.
Yeah.
There are cases that people.
That's another medical condition. There's another exception medical condition. And yes, to your point, in the UK, NHS is amazing. And if I was ever going to leave this country, it would be because of the medical system that we have here. Just 100% honest about that. Like I could stand everything else and love everything, love this, want to fix this. Cool. I can't. Medical system would be absolutely the reason I'm like, I'm out.
Well, and the pandemic is really shining a light on a variety of different things that are broken in our country.
Right. It's starting with attitudes.
Yes.
Starting with attitudes, and that's really to this point.
The big one.
I'm actually glad when they bring up a public figure who is saying this and pointing out that you're not looking for equality, you're looking for an exemption. You're trying to give yourself a reason for special treatment. And that's the problem. And that's why I'm actually happy when they report this, because it continues that conversation and points out, that part. I have friends who, for medical reasons, are hesitant. Like, I have a friend whose sister had a horrible reaction to the vaccine, which has happened to other people in their family. It's something very specific about their genetics. They've had problems with vaccines before, but she was going to try this. And so
Well, see, that's different though. There is a specific medical reason why you would either not get it, or if you do get it, you do it very directly under supervision.
Right. And there's always going to be, I mean, again, this is the same reason, like, I don't want to hear about not vaccinating your kids, because yes, I understand that there is a 1/1,000,000th of a 1/1,000,000th percent chance. Yeah, okay. But then there's everything else. So in this particular case, she has a very logical reason why she's hesitant to get the vaccine.
Yeah.
However, she is also the kind of person who's like, if that means that I can't do certain things, then that means I can't do certain things. She's not fighting that.
Yeah.
Her attitude about it is, I've made the decision, and this is the decision that I've made. She's not against the vaccine. She's not this for it. She's not against like this. And she's like, if I can't go to these places or I can't do this, then that's just the way that it is. And I'm like, and see, that's the adult attitude to have
Exactly.
about that. Now, if she pursued it further, and she wanted, like, she's like, at some point I may have to like consult with the doctor and get something that the doctor is saying he does not want, like, and she's been warned, like, if it comes down to a medical exemption, then that's different. If you have this legitimate medical exemption, then you will still be able to get certain jobs. You will still be able to do certain things. And what they do then is that you wear a mask and you stay sanitary and you take constant tests and you do that. And you won't be barred for that reason. But that is going through the process of getting it because you have a real medical exemption.
That's having the paper trail to back up your.
Exactly.
What
And
you're
she may do that. Again, they're still dealing with her sister and everything else from that. And that, again, and nobody's saying that's perfect. Nobody's saying that concerns and fears are unfounded, are in and of themselves, understanding medical history, unfounded, but the entitlement attitude is completely unfounded.
Well, and here's my thing, like, birth controls have a hell of a lot more side effects and problems and issues. And yet women are expected to be the ones responsible for that.
Yeah.
And like, there's so many things that can be a side effect, like including stroke and death.
But that's
death.
True for pregnancy too.
Yeah.
Just
so, like,
really, look at you.
Okay. If people are going to bitch about the vaccine, I'm just like,
well, again,
over here,
we
have this.
Yeah. It's that argument. Well, we don't know what's in it. You don't know what's in an apple. Like,
yeah. If I say dihydrogen monoxide, 3/4 of the people don't know what the fuck that is. And that's just water.
Just water. Yeah. So that's basically why I'm glad when they actually bring up a public figure and keep that, because it does make a difference. It does make a difference to call that out for what it is. Speaking of calling out, we do have the plethora of headlines about Peter Dinklage making a public statement about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And it's exactly the kind of statement that you would expect Peter Dinklage to make about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs being made into another live action by Disney as a money grab. So, basically, the agreement has, one, Peter Dinklage saying, why are we still making something called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? Seriously? Why are we still doing this? Because there's really no way to do that and still be cool. Plus, money grab, Disney. What else is new?
Okay, the one thing I will say is that dwarves as a fantasy species are a thing.
Right.
So if you portray them like that, that's different. But if you portray them the way Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs portrays them...
Exactly. Well, the cartoon that we're thinking of. Exactly. And so if it's the Disney Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, we have problems with that, especially if you are specifically trying to cast. Now, there have been iterations where the seven, none of them were dwarfs. It ended up being some colloquial term that they used. There's been a movie like that None of them were dwarfs, either by that definition or by a vernacular or as a derogatory term. And none of them were little people. I take that back. I think like one was a little person cast to be in the group. But they were trying to make a statement about the dwarfs being outcasts who had to band together to start their own company. And one of them was actually a little person. So they tried that, and that seems to be like one of the least problematic. Yeah. Disney has agreed that we're going to speak to the little person community for representation. And it's like, look, this is not one. It's not a movie. Nobody asked for this to be made. Nobody wants to see this. It's just a money grab. And on top of that, with representation of differently abled, disabled, and different people still finding its footing in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
This may not be the best idea. Yeah.
Disney, get your shit together.
Yeah. So but I mean, Disney's nothing but money grab. I'm watching the Disney parks doing their best to see how far they can push what do we call visitors until they finally decide it's finally too expensive to be at Disney World. And now, so between taking away annual passes, raising the price of tickets, now you have to pay $15 a day per person to get a different pass for the lines, Genie Plus, Lightning Lane. Calculating the kind of trip that would make it worth it for me to have fun. It used to be you could buy a ticket, go through the turnstile, and have a day at Disney. Maybe spend some money on some expensive snacks, wait in line for a couple of rides, watch a parade, and go home. Like, that used to be Disney.
Yeah. Disney
now,
is...
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, when Josh took me to Disney, now, mind you, he did get us a room at the Grand Floridian.
Okay.
So that's one of their more expensive hotels on property.
It is.
For like, I want to say technically 4 days, because that, the nights.
So 4 days, 3 nights.
Yeah.
Yep.
It cost like $5,000.
People have no problem spending money for the equivalent experience.
Mm-hmm.
But this nickel and diming crap.
See, that's the thing.
It's horrendously crowded. You can't get to anything. You can't do what you want to do. Like if I could do what I wanted to do, but I could spend $10,000 for 5 days, 4 nights, and not feel like I got my money's worth.
Yep.
That's not okay. That's not, you're stuck in crowds. You're stuck in that. And
especially in the time of a pandemic, like being stuck in a crowd. No, thank you.
Oh yeah. I mean, Disney owns Florida. So whatever they say goes as far as crowd control capacity.
Harry Potter World was fun. I'm not entirely sure I think it was worth it, especially given some of JK's leanings these days.
And again, I have no problem splurging on a meal, splurging on a hotel, having a good time. Even, splurging a few bucks so that I can get on the 3 rides I want to do.
Exactly.
But you would think raising the prices, and one reason a lot of theme parks, and the one thing that Disney is probably doing, is they are trying to price certain people out. Let's be clear. It's a very acceptable in their term, business practice, and it's not unheard of. They'll raise the prices. Used to call it like the riff-raff write-off, or the riff-raff, whatever. So that's one thing that probably is happening. And on one hand, for smaller crowds, I don't mind spending more. Like, if I could have a better experience, and you want to cap how many people could be in the park, but that's going to cost me a little more money to cover the costs.
Yeah.
We would all be cool with that.
Oh, yeah.
We'd all be cool with that. But this is just, they're not capping it. Everybody's in. It's ridiculously crowded. There's no control. It's still nickel and diming. You're still spending the amount of money and you're not getting the payoff for it. And they're not even going to give you a box for your lightsaber.
Seriously?
Yeah, you get a plastic bag now. Same price.
Hey, Olive.
Same price.
Same price.
Same price. No. Not cool.
That's crazy.
Not cool. It's starting to feel very dystopian to me. And what's dystopian about it isn't that the prices are going up, it's that it doesn't seem to be having any effect.
Yeah.
At all. The crowds are still there. But we'll see how long that lasts. We'll see how that, I'm very curious. I think you have an entire generation of people used to being inconvenienced.
See, and that's the thing.
We have very low standards. We have a very low bar.
You're not wrong.
This last generation has just accepted the kick in the groin. We've just accepted that that's just what we have to do to get through the day. Oh, okay. I'm just not going to sleep today. Okay. Yeah.
Call me the fuck out, Crysstal.
We're just going to accept this. We're going to accept the way things are. Oh, I have to, live in my parents' basement until I'm 40. Okay, cool. Again, has nothing to do with the people involved. Has everything to do with the lowered expectations.
Yeah.
Since what life was like for our parents and grandparents. Like, we just accept the inconvenience and take what we can get. And on one hand, when Armageddon does come, we're going to roll with the punches, and we're going to be able to function on 2 hours of sleep, and we're going to accept little to no reimbursement for pulling scraps together and bringing them to barter and trade at the one marketplace 15 miles down the road, climbing up the snow in bare feet uphill both ways. Like, that's just, we're going to be okay with that, because, yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not fucking wrong. That's a sad goddamn thing.
We for as entitled as they want to call us, we accept a lot.
Oh yeah, no, we have accepted being beaten our entire lives, and people want to be like, oh, like millennials and Gen Z and Alpha are so entitled. It's like, look, motherfucker, we're not the ones who decided we needed participation trophies. That was your generation deciding that I feel like a bad parent if my kid doesn't get a trophy. That's on you, not on us.
Not the kids. It's not the kids. Karen, there are a few Karens in training out there, but for the most part, they're well established, and they've been screaming at coaches and principals and teachers for generations.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And also, the thing is, brain went burr.
Huh?
I said brain went burr.
Well, I will say I'm for anything we can do to involve inclusivity. I don't feel like sports should be life or death for a 12, 11, 10, 9, 8-year-old.
It should be allowed
allowed to just be
Could she be allowed to
fucking
just play?
kids.
It's more about the experience of being on a team. It's about the experience of getting to know new kids. It's about the experience of learning, certain skills. And who the fuck cares who won when you were 11? Nobody cares. So if that means that a child who would not have been allowed to play with your kids or be involved, or probably would have been put in an institution 2 generations ago, gets to play baseball with the other kids in his community, and they learn how to accept people that are different. They learn how to make friends with people that are different because of that. That's the priority. And everybody gets a trophy, and it makes everybody feel included because that's the point. Then that's what a participation trophy is supposed to be, because you actually participated in something important for your community. It's not about whether you won or lost the game. I don't care that you won your softball game when you were 11. And you shouldn't either. Your parents shouldn't either.
Exactly.
Like, I'm okay with that. But the fact that you have parents screaming in coaches' faces and fighting over little league games and peewee football, that's a problem.
Fucking entitlement.
It's the parents.
It's the parents.
It's the parents. Stop playing this. No, that's not. No. Yeah. Something that makes the kids, because having, seen autistic children feel like they are part of something, and they're coming out of their shell, and they feel comfortable, and they get the same trophy everyone else does.
Yeah.
I've seen the positive effect of that. So yeah, again, whether it's a piece of plastic or a certificate, or it's just feeling like they're part of the team,
or a t-shirt or whatever.
Everything should be about participation when you're a kid. And this is why other countries are kicking our ass in certain sports, because
no. This just, kids need the chance to be kids.
Because we're not burning them out at 13, 14 years old.
God forbid a kid actually has the chance to fuck up.
Well, and some people are late bloomers. Some people get better at sports when they get older, not when they're kids. So this whole thing of, if you're not on the skating rink doing a triple sow cow at 8, you're never going to make... What?
No.
What? If she can do a triple sow cow at 8 and that's what she wants to do, great.
Yeah, that's good for her.
Great.
But not that's not everyone's thing.
No. But yeah.
Plus, kids need the chance to experiment and try things out and do different things in order to make that life experience, to have the chance to figure out what they do like, what they enjoy, and trying to treat it like these kids are professionals at 10. No.
And how do you have you really given your child an opportunity to say, I don't want to do this anymore?
Yeah.
After because I've seen it. I've seen the parents say over and over again, like, this, how much it costs them, the time that they're putting into it, how much it means to them, and their whole world becomes this kid doing this. I'm like, well, that's great, and if the kid really loves it, that's great, but kids change.
Yeah.
And it's okay for somebody who at 12 wanted to play baseball to later decide they want to do computer coding.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Like, my dad was like the prime example of the kid that did everything. He was a surfer. He went out into the desert and shot shit.
Yeah.
Did baseball, volleyball, chorus, band. Letting them experience anything that you were able to give them, that makes such a difference, especially if you've got kids that are neurodivergent of some sort. Doesn't matter whether that's ADHD, autistic, they have some kind of bipolar, depression, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Whatever they happen to be. A lot of people are neurodivergent
and just aren't diagnosed. And being able to test the waters into things allows them to expand their horizons, to get that social experience, to do the things that lets them become a better human being and become a part of their community around them.
It's kind of the same reason I get really pissed off at, awarding attendance for 6, 7, and 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
When you have some 6, 7, and 8-year-olds, it's not their fault. It's a bad attitude towards kids.
Yeah.
From the get-go. So my most anxiety inducing, like, to this day, dreams that I have are all involved with me not turning in an assignment, not getting a good grade, not getting to school on time. When looking back, nothing would have happened. Nothing would have happened if I didn't.
Well, and see, that's why, like, when I was in high school, my physics teacher, he specifically allowed us to, no matter what, have our notes during our physics tests.
Mm-hmm.
Because his view of it was, in the real world, you don't have to just memorize this shit. You can go onto Google, you can grab a book, you can do whatever.
Yes.
Like,
yes. No, open book tests do work.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
The real world, you have access to this.
And with the note taking, with the teachers who do notes for that instead of open book, what they're trying to do is basically teach the skill of you knowing what you should be paying attention to or not.
Exactly.
Just organization skills and allowing you to learn that. But it should be about learning. God forbid, it's about learning.
And see, that's why, like, I count myself lucky, because when I happen to have been going to school at my school, I was able to have access to these teachers that do still have kind of that older school mindset of, well, technically, I do have to teach to the standardized test, whatever that you guys are going to have to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you guys, like, actually teach you.
Right.
Like, yes, I will cover the stuff that has to be covered, but I'm going to make sure you guys have an education.
Right.
Have fun while you're doing it. Yeah. Because one of the reasons why I loved having Mrs. Holland as one of my teachers was because of the fact that she made sure that first off, she was absolutely passionate about what she taught. Like, absolutely passionate. And thankfully for her, especially right before she retired, she was able to only teach the extracurricular social studies classes. She didn't have to teach world history anymore. They just let her teach her things that she wanted to teach. And so all of the subjects she taught, she was passionate about. And she would do fun things for us. Like, for I want to say it was my world geography class, we were talking about how Europe decided to divvy up Africa among themselves, right?
Mm.
And so what she did to kind of give us a picture of what it looked like was she brought in a cake. And so she had a physical representation of Africa, in this case, the cake. And so she gave slices based on, like, the UK took this percentage of Africa and gave someone who was representing the UK, which in my class was me, that slice of the cake.
Hello.
And everyone got a slice of cake after the end of everything.
Yeah.
But just so you had an actual, like, idea of what it might physically kind of look like, percentage-wise.
Something that kids would understand.
Yeah.
Begin to understand. God forbid.
And I was 14, 15 at the time. One of the two. But it was a great way to get us involved, to give us a treat, and make it fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, and we're losing that.
Well,
we are losing that as a country.
You
We are
can't-
losing educators because they are not being paid enough. They're being overworked,
Yes.
having to deal with Karens.
I mean, they're being given 14 hats and they're being paid for half of one.
Like when you, because one of my old bosses, one of my old managers, she used to be a music teacher. She quit being a music teacher because she got paid better to be a manager at a pizza place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, I remember the teachers having to live an hour away.
Yep.
Desperately trying to get their master's degree, so
In
that
the
they would get a living wage.
And even then, that's not guaranteed.
And even then, not guaranteed. Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, they wonder why there's a teaching shortage.
Well, that definitely leads us to one of our last stories, and that is Mouse. Now that the Pulitzer Prize-winning graphic novel by Spiegelman is now banned in Tennessee, children are not allowed to read it.
What is it called?
Mouse. And it was written, the artist who Spiegelman, who wrote it, I believe he wrote it and drew it. It's the first graphic novel that ever won the Pulitzer Prize, and it's about it's a portrayal of the Nazi concentration camps and what happened to his family, his father's family specifically. And it was used as a way for children to see. It's artistic portrayal, but he wasn't looking for it to be a children's book. He was just looking for a way to tell the story, and it became something part of a curriculum in a lot of schools for explaining what happened during World War II under the Nazi rule.
There's some irony here.
Yes.
Given the context of what the subject is.
So there's, of course, the argument from the school board is that it has a swear word. I think it says hell or damn. And there is a portrayal of
8 curse words like damn. I've got a Vanity Fair
and then
up,
there, I think there's one point in the thing, I think there's somebody that's nude in it, but it's like in the camp, like showing that they have that. But many people are saying that it's too much of a coincidence that on the heels of the arguments that you don't want to, you clearly don't want to teach certain things in school anymore, and you want to have alternative histories taught in school, that a pointed part of the curriculum portraying this specific point in history has been singled out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just, again, I feel like the irony here is specifically about that subject matter.
It is. It's gripping headlines. You know, obviously it's one because it's a fairly well known graphic novel, and Spiegelman has been on every show talking about this. He's reemerged, stating his opinion that he doesn't think it's about what they say it's about. That this is trying to control curriculum on a much deeper level.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, given the what is it? Oh shoot, it's God damn it, it's in regard to POCs.
The radical the critical race theory.
That.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. It totally blanked my mind.
Yeah, and again that's portrayal, and it's just the uneducated sweeping opinion that teaching the real history instead of the whitewashed history that we clearly got for several generations.
Well, history is always written by the victors, and when you've had a group of people in power for so long, they're gonna try and fight back. But the thing is, like,
Grandpa doesn't want Jimmy to know that he lynched a man 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So Grandpa's going to make sure that the history book just says that, well, they worked in exchange for housing and food. And it's like it'll be like 2 pages. I remember that. I remember history books where it was like 2 pages, the history of slavery in America.
Yeah. It's like, no. That's a very oversimplified view of it. And history is a lot more nuanced. And I get it that, like, especially in grade school levels, that, you're only scratching the surface. And especially since you have to cover so many topics, like, yeah, some things are going to kind of get skipped over a little bit.
Absolutely. But like you were saying, like your teacher chose very specific example to teach something very specific that was happening historically.
Yep.
So if you have a more honest portrayal and you pick very specific instances, like, you don't have to do an entire dissertation on it.
Yeah.
But if you are allowed to tell something that could make people uncomfortable because it's the truth, then that's a real lesson. That's a real honest portrayal. That's not a washed out. That's not. And what I mean by like the 2 pages is that it's just like skimmed over, like it barely happened. It's in the past. Don't worry about it. It's like,
but it's not.
It's not.
Slavery
it wasn't
still
that
exists.
long ago. Wasn't that long ago. Yeah.
Exactly. Like the civil rights movement. That happened when my dad was a kid.
That right there. It was
He was
people's
a young
grandma.
child.
Right.
Like,
it's like, yeah, I know you don't like. Look, then we live in the
that's 2
South.
generations ago.
Exactly.
3.
They're still
If you
alive.
count me.
Yeah. The adults that screamed and threw rocks at those kids are still alive.
Yeah. They are still very much alive.
Still very much alive.
And like, you can't talk about history that the people are still living in the way that we have been.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you want to gloss over this fact, but this isn't like ancient history. This is like modern history. Like,
and it's striving to create a curriculum and a lesson plan that shows people how what happened here directly affects what's still happening today.
yes,
And that's what's making people uncomfortable.
Yes, Olive. Frankly, it takes at least as long to dance around the subject and pretend things are a debate as go into more detail. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. In fact, it takes more effort.
Yes.
Because
evasion always
now
takes more effort.
Exactly. You're now having to evade and change the topic and do all this other stuff and try and be like, here's a scapegoat.
Yep.
Instead of trying to work on the problem and make it a better place, make it a better world for your children and their children. Let's keep it the same. And Olive also stated several states at the same time are banning non-negative mentions of LGBT plus people in schools and public libraries. Yes, actually, this past week, South Dakota tried to pass an anti-trans sports law. It's still, I think, it still needs like one part of their legislative committee to pass it. But the fact it even got past one part of it.
Yeah. And it's it's ridiculous because certainly at the NAACP has had their own accepted standards of when somebody can enter either as a male or a female, whether they're trans or not. They have these collegiate standards, and it's based on medical and peer-reviewed science.
Mhm.
Like, now it's a problem. Now you have a problem.
Mhm.
What?
Not that I expect much rationality about sports in this day and age, but they use that to demonize people. Yes, you create the other.
Yeah.
And that's been happening throughout human history.
Yeah.
You
There always-
turn
there always
someone
has
into
to be-
the other, the scapegoat, and I mean, prime example,
Jeopardy.
Nazi Germany
Yeah, well, yeah.
with the Jewish people.
It's a political move. It's meant to control.
Yeah.
It's meant to deplete. It's not actually based on anything real. It's just very, very easy. Yeah. Yep.
On a happier note,
Yes.
Legend of Vox Machina came out on Amazon this week.
I saw that. It was right in the headline. Yes, I'm excited for that and the Inuyasha sequel.
Wait, there's an Inuyasha sequel? Oh wait, yeah. No, that's their kid.
The kids are all grown up teenagers now. Yeah. Yeah.
I've heard the irony is what is it? Koga's the one who ended up actually raising Inuyasha and Kagome's kids.
Yeah, pretty much. I've
It's
seen
like,
that.
wait,
So,
you need
yeah.
to tell me that the demon she probably should have been with to begin with is the one who stepped up and did the right thing?
Yeah.
I'm not even surprised.
Not even surprised.
Not even surprised.
Um,
Aw, hi, Mama.
I think it's time to take her for a walk. She's very insistent right now. You see like a puppy. Look at her. She's just wait. Okay. Oh goodness. Well, before we go, also on a good note, I make a recommendation. If you get a chance, they have released the Spider-Man No Way Home script online. Highly recommend. There's some things you will only realize and only see that are part of the script, and it's part of the reason they released it, because it's not really in the movie per se.
Mhm.
It's interesting. It's also interesting to see how liberal script writing has become.
I mean, that's fair.
In some ways. So I do recommend, if you enjoyed the movie and you have a minute, you're just looking at it's kind of cool.
I might when I have more brain cells available.
Yeah, I've only been able to breeze through like the reviews of it and people pointing out parts, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, now I'm kind of interested in reading this. But there's your little recommendation. What? Okay.
Yes, my recommendation is start watching Legend of Vox Machina. I watched the first episode so far, and it is fucking hilarious. It's definitely made for adults, though.
Yeah,
It is Critical Role. This is a precursor to the Vox Machina campaign, and later on, I believe next season or later seasons, they are going to actually get into the stuff that happened in the actual campaign. But it's fun. It's already freaking hilarious. It's if you watch things like Simpsons, Family Guy, things like that. In some ways, it's reminiscent of that, but it's definitely its own thing. It's more of an anime, kind of straddling that line.
Yeah.
And it's Dungeons and Dragons. So, I mean, all right. Well, thank you all for being here.
Thank you guys so much.
I believe Crysstal needs to take some puppers out.
I mean, I'm getting bombarded. All three of them have officially run into the room like, Mom. Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Well, we love you all. Live long and prosper, and we will see you next time.
Thank you guys so much, and thank you, Lyssa.
Bye, guys.